Thank you, Minister. The member for Solomon.
Thank you very much. Minister, over the past few months I've been working closely with NBN representatives, namely Peter Gurney and Hayley Connolly in my electorate, in terms of the implementation of NBN in Solomon. We've run a number of info sessions and forums, and they've been very well received. And as you know, Minister, I have a very young demographic in Solomon, and feedback from my electorate has largely been positive around the NBN rollout. We know that the NBN is amazing for business opportunities. However, I'm getting a lot of feedback from my electorate in terms of the entertainment potential and I guess this is around the young people. And the other query that I'm getting is from the young people is, when are we going to get to NBN? Because we're really, really excited. So, Minister, I guess the question for you is, would you be able to provide an update on the rollout of NBN in Solomon, particularly in Darwin and Palmerston, with expected completion dates, so that we can give that information back to the very excited people in my electorate?
Well,
thank you, Minister.
Yeah, thank the honourable member for her question and observations, and she's absolutely right that the internet is becoming a very important entertainment platform. In fact, I like to, I think a good way to look at the internet, and of course enabled by the NBN, but not exclusively by the NBN, of course. The internet is in many respects an Uber platform, a sort of a super platform, which is trumping every other one. And I think we will see a continuing move of so many other services, whether it is services that were traditionally broadcast over the air, like television and radio, or services like newspapers, of course, which are printed on paper. Everything is moving onto the internet. We've seen with the arrival of Netflix, and again, Netflix is not the first video streaming entertainment business in Australia by any means, but you've seen the impact of this form of video distribution. Netflix in the United States alone consumes one third of primetime internet bandwidth. Now, just turning to the electorate of Solomon, the people of Darwin, the honourable member's electorate, are really seeing the benefit of having a strong Liberal MP fighting for her electorate and working to solve the problems we inherited from Labor.
Outstanding member.
Now, I don't need to tell the honourable member this, but others may be interested to know. The NBN rollout in Darwin at the time of the election was a complete mess. We had inherited huge problems with service class 0 premises, that is, premises that the NBN had said were passed because the fibre went down the street, but they couldn't actually get a service for a variety of reasons, not least because there was no lead-in. But they couldn't. The NBN could not give an estimate as to how long it would take to get a service, and there were precincts or FSAMs declared ready for service by the NBN Co under the Labor government, where 90% or more of the premises were service class 0. Now, that, as we explained in the press release yesterday, that has all changed. That's all changed. Now, at least 40% have to be service class 2. That's to say there is a lead-in, and another 40% at least is service class 1. That's to say can be connected within a month. Service class 2 is generally about 2 weeks. Now, the rollout in the Northern Territory had ground to a halt, essentially. It was in a state of collapse, as it was in South Australia and Western Australia. Now, with the honourable member's help and advocacy and her passion for a community, we have turned things around. At the time of the last election, Labor was claiming to have 2,672 premises passed with fibre in her electorate of Solomon, but extraordinarily only 118 of these were actually serviceable. Today, we have 18,581 premises serviceable, and 7,208 of them have actually ordered a service and are paying for one. We're not stopping there. There are another 23,000 premises where building of the network is underway in Solomon, and it's fair to say that Solomon has one of the more extensive rollouts of any electorate. And the honourable member's passion and advocacy is something that the government and the NBN Co especially welcome, because frankly we need the revenue. And I say to all honourable members, encourage your constituents to sign up to the NBN, because it's a very expensive project, and the more revenue we can get, the better. Now, just in the past week alone, the honourable member, this is a good interjection. I won't miss that. The member for Chifley says, "Is that the motivation?" Yes, it is, honourable member. It is one of the motivations. It's a pretty big one, because I know it's a revelation to the Labor Party. But if you build a project like this, you've got to generate some revenue to pay for it. But of course, in the la-la land of Labor, doesn't matter. You just you just get the old government chequebook out. Doesn't matter. You don't nothing. I mean, actually, your distinguished former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, on one occasion several occasions said that the NBN was going to be such a fantastic commercial investment. Mums and dads would be lining up wanting to invest in it. They'd have to be beaten off with a stick. It'd be such a hot deal. Really. Anyway, we're dealing with it. We're getting it built, and all I can say is that the more people that use it, the better.